top of the tray. The first chimp is ticked off. He pulls the hidden rope and the game's over. Was he just generally outraged, or was he taking specific revenge on the thief? To find out, the researcher now moves the food. Once again, the first chimp has lost his food to the second. All that's changed is who's responsible. In trials where the researcher moves the chow, the first chimp is much less likely to crash the platform. That would punish an innocent chimp who had no intent to do him wrong.
They can gauge who is responsible for something that has been done. Humans make a big distinction, and intentions are very important for humans. For instance, take the case in our judicial system, manslaughter and murder. The difference between those two is simply the intent.
So chimps have a sense of justice, and they can cooperate with people. Can they collaborate spontaneously with each other? Researchers also from the Max Planck Institute placed fruit on a board just out of a chimpanzee's reach. The chimps are behind bars, both to keep them from the food and because they can be impulsive, strong, and dangerous. When a solo chimp can reach both ends of a rope, it hauls them in and gets all the food. But on some trials, the ends are too far apart. If the chimp pulls just one end, the rope unthreads. The chimp has another option. He can unlock a door to bring in a helper who's been watching. The two chimps now work together. But a series of trials shows that this teamwork doesn't come easily. The helper must be a friend, and the food divided into separate dishes. Can a more loving ape cooperate better? At Lola Ya Bonobo Sanctuary in the Congo, victims of the pet trade are raised by human mothers. When these bonobos grow up, they will spend their days outdoors, becoming savvy about life in the forest. Bonobos are the most social of the great apes, and in their groups, all friends are friends with benefits. A simple way to diffuse tension. Calmer than chimps, how do bonobos do on the cooperation test? Brian Hare places food in a central shared well.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All the food is in the same dish, so it's very easy for one individual to bump the other individual out of the way and steal it all. Okay, Nikasi. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go!
It takes the bonobos a while to get on task.
Nikasi.
But soon they get the hang of it.
Yay, bonobo! Yay!
With their more congenial temperaments, bonobos are more cooperative than chimps are. In fact, bonobos may take cooperation even further. When a young male died at Lola Ya Bonobo, workers were trying to remove his body.
The staff decided to use sticks and try to move the bonobo towards a door. They mounted an incredible defense of this body that surprised everybody and was extremely moving. That's a fascinating reaction on the part of the bonobos. They were not related to that individual, and yet they took extreme risks to protect his body.
As they fend off the humans, it seems as if they're cooperating. But what does it take to work together? Are they comparing the number of staff to their own troops? Can they calculate it all? At Kyoto University, Tetsuro Matsuzawa's experiments are revealing that chimps can in fact develop an astonishing facility for numbers. He first trained a chimpanzee named I to touch the numeral that matched the number of dots. Once I knew 0 through 9, Matsuzawa displayed the numerals helter-skelter on a screen. I quickly learned to touch them in ascending order. In the final test, Matsuzawa piled on. As soon as I touches the numeral 1, white squares cover up the remaining numerals. Can the chimp possibly remember all the locations and touch them in order?
The performance was really amazing. Much better than we have expected.
But for I, learning numbers was a struggle.
Almost the same amount of training was necessary to teach 3, teach 4, or teach 5, or even worse, it takes more time to teach 5 and then 6.
I never got the aha feeling that children have when they realize that you just add 1 to get to the next number. In the United States, another ape shows a surprising gift for language.
You gonna help get some sticks? Good.
A bonobo named Kanzi, now at the Great Ape Trust in Iowa,
I need more sticks too.
picked up English without being directly taught.
Put the key in the refrigerator.
Wearing a mask to avoid cueing Kanzi, researcher Sue Savage Rumbaugh tests his comprehension.
Good job. Go get the ball that's outdoors. Very nice. Thank you, Kanzi.
Savage Rumbaugh measures Kanzi's vocabulary at 3,000 spoken English words. While apes can master words and numbers, other research shows that something else is limiting their cooperation. Apes have emotional issues, rivalry, violence, and most of all, they're impulsive. In a celebrated study that investigated impulse control, Sally Boysen of Ohio State University asked chimps to choose between 2 dishes of
Now
M&Ms.
you watch real carefully. We're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. Are you watching, Miss Briss? Shibi? We're going to put 2 in here. Which should we give those to Sarah? Okay, well, I have to give these to Sarah. Then Sheba gets 2. So Sarah gets 4, and Sheba only gets 2. Oh, too bad.
The twist was that the chimp got the candy she didn't point to.
3, 4, 5.
Could the chimp learn to resist her impulse to reach for the bigger pile?
Oh, you want Sarah to have these? It's okay. It's okay. You get to have that one. Yeah, Sarah gets 5. And Sheba gets 1. Oh, that is such a shame.
Amazingly, chimps never overcame their greedy urges. They always reached for more, and so ended up with less.
And Sheba gets 2, so Sarah gets 4. See?
Impulse studies have also been run on humans. In a classic experiment from the 1970s, a researcher gave a 4-year-old a simple choice.
So if you wait for me to get back, I'll give you this bowl with all of these gummy bears, okay? But if you can't wait, you can push that button like this, and then I'll come back and you can have this bowl with just this one gummy bear, okay? Okay? Okay, I'll be right back.
According to an inconclusive but intriguing study, the longer children resisted temptation, the higher their SAT scores were years later. In any case, the differences between people are small compared to the gaps separating humans and apes.
Maybe one of the first things that happened during our species evolution is we became much less emotionally reactive. Maybe that's one of the big differences that may explain why we solve problems so differently. We sort of got control of our emotions.
Can apes be given skills to help them master their emotions?
Now you watch real carefully.
Sally Boysen trained a chimp to understand numerals.
2, 3.
Then she repeated her M&M's experiment, but now offered different pairs of numerals rather than treats.
You want to give 2 to Sarah. Okay, 2 goes to Sarah, and you get 6. Oh, you love
Remarkably, chimps were now able to learn what they couldn't before. Point to the smaller number to get the bigger prize. Symbols can make you free. They can help distance an ape from its impulses. But outside of the lab, apes don't seem to use symbols. Still, ape minds seem to share many of the amazing features of the human mind. They have sophisticated social emotions. They can cooperate. They have culture. Their mental rocket is on the launch pad. Why isn't it taking off? The human brain rocket certainly had liftoff. On an average day, human beings file thousands of patents, post tens of thousands of internet videos, and think millions of thoughts that have never been thought before. Our closest relatives are different. On a good day, an ape is lucky to use a tool to crack a nut. What prevents ape culture from igniting like the human version? Recent studies that compare the human and ape minds are revealing something surprising. Bonobos like Kanzi show their own kind of genius.
Kanzi, could you take off Sue's shoe? Could you take my shoe off, please? You might need to untie it.
Even skeptics agree that Kanzi understands more words than any other non-human animal. He also uses an array of visual symbols to communicate. But on closer inspection, Kanzi, like all great apes, lacks the full mental package. Take Kanzi's use of language.
Most of the time, he will use these symbols to request things, to say, take me there or give me that. Now, Kanzi will not use those symbols to talk about the weather or to just make small talk, which is a very human thing.
When human infants communicate with others, they engage in a real conversation where each conversational turn is responsive to the turn that came before, and they even ask for clarification if they need. So you say, huh, or you say, yeah, and you let the other one know how the communication is going.
To engage in a real conversation, each speaker needs a sense of what the other is thinking. Call this skill mind reading.
Look.
Young children haven't fully developed it.
Hey, so Zoe, guess what we're gonna do today? We're gonna play a game with my Princess Sally here. See, this is Princess Sally? And she's got a ball that she really likes. This is her ball. But she has to go away for a little bit, so Princess Sally is gonna hide her ball right over here in the bag. See Princess Sally hiding her ball right there in the purple bag? Yeah? So here she goes. She's gonna go away for just a little bit. Now, while Princess Sally is away, we're gonna play a little trick on her, okay? We're gonna move her ball from the purple bag over here to the green bag. See how we've moved the ball over there? Okay, so guess what? Princess Sally's coming back. Here she is, she came back. Can you tell me, where is Princess Sally gonna first look for her ball? Over here in the green bag. Can you tell me why is Princess
Classic
Sally...
studies showed that 3-year-olds make consistent mistakes about what others know.
The thing that's amazing about 3-year-olds is how convinced they are about their wrong answer. They're so sure that she's going to look for her ball where it really is, because she wants it, and that's where it is.
Princess Sally's...
But by the age of 4, most children are accomplished mind readers.
Where is Sally first going to look for her ball?
It's going to look in the purple bag so she can find her ball.
She's going to look in the purple bag.
That's the right answer. As recently as 2001, studies seem to show that apes don't know what others are thinking. But then, new experiments began to reveal unexpected skills. In one study, as a chimp approached a treat, Brian Hare moved it out of reach, establishing himself as a competitor. Next, Hare blocked his own view of one treat, but left another in his sight.
It looks like they're generating a plan and saying to themselves, okay, I want that food, and the one I'm most likely to get is the one he's not looking at, or the one that if I sneak around, he won't see me, and therefore I can have my yummy banana treat.
This chimp seems to know what's on Hare's mind, what he can see and what he can't. So chimps seem to share a bit of our talent for mind reading. Do we have any mental skills that are uniquely our own? A key clue comes from a new experiment. Back at the University of Texas, Victoria Horner shows a chimp how to operate a puzzle box to get a piece of candy. First, she taps. Then she slides. Next, she pokes. The chimp copies pretty well and gets the sweet.
This game we're gonna play is about this special box I brought, all right? There's a gummy bear. It's your turn.
Children copy the actions much as the chimps did.
Oh, you got him. All right, there's a gummy bear. Good job.
The second box that I show the chimpanzees is this one, and it's identical to the opaque box, except that it's made out of material which is see-through.
Only now is it obvious that Horner's tapping and poking don't achieve a thing. The box has a false ceiling. The chimps cut to the chase. They skip the needless steps. For the apes, it's all about the treat.
What this study shows is that apes don't just mindlessly ape. They also understand something more about cause and effect.
We found something quite surprising. The children were predisposed to copy, even when it meant that they were doing something that was really rather silly. So this seems a little like the chimps are outsmarting the kids in this particular study.
There he is. You got him out.
Why do kids imitate slavishly?
The root of the children's behavior is the fact that they view me as a grown-up, possibly as a teacher.
That children expect to be taught is a vital difference. While apes can copy, most researchers believe they don't teach each other. Learning from someone else is the fastest way to get a new idea. Faster than learning by imitation. Faster than inventing a new technology in the first place. In children, a penchant for teaching appears even before language kicks in the form of a deceptively simple gesture. Pointing. A toddler knows that the cup being pointed to is the one that hides a treat.
Parents love it when their kids start pointing because it's evidence that the kid's trying to communicate with them. Parents definitely notice the difference between babies who just point to ask for things and babies who point to show them things.
Apes don't seem to get that kind of pointing. It doesn't matter whether Brian Hare points or stares or orients his body. This young bonobo can't fathom that he is trying to communicate.
They were clueless at using the information. Even after lots and lots of trials, they didn't use the information I provided them, and it was a big surprise to everybody.
But Hare suspected a certain domesticated animal would succeed.
I sort of was thinking to myself, well, wait a second, I have a dog at home, and he plays fetch, and when he loses his ball, he comes and looks at me, and if I point in a certain direction, he runs off in that direction and tries to find the ball.
Sure enough, dogs get it. Why dogs and people, but not apes? The answer may spring from the way emotions collide with reason.
It's possible that, like dogs, there may have been selection against aggression in humans and selection for tolerant behavior, pro-social behavior, that actually then allowed us to use these cooperative communicative cues in a very different way than other species, even our closest relatives.
Pointing has a rational component too. It relies on a particular mental skill. A little difference that makes a big difference.
Whenever I point, I'm actually directing your attention towards a third object, and you have to understand that my attention is on that object, and that I'm asking you now to attend to the same object.
Yeah.
So there's sort of a triangle between us and the object.
This mental skill, call it the triangle, turbocharges teamwork.
What you'll see with the human mother and baby is that the mother is constantly trying to show the baby what to do, and the baby is trying to tune in to what the mother wants. And so you have a full triangle of mother and baby and the thing in the environment that they're trying to work on.
It's a special cognitive achievement.
Yeah, that's right. We know. Yeah.
For some reason, kids do this naturally almost immediately. And curiously, apes can't get into that.
At the moment, we have no evidence that apes have shared goals based on shared commitments. They do things together, they coordinate their actions together, but they don't have a shared commitment to a shared goal.
The triangle is the core skill that makes teaching possible. Humans have it. Apes seem to lack it. But apes are also missing one more thing. It's a key emotional driver.
Another blue one on top.
The passion to cheer each other on.
Good. Good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like that.
Good. Good job. Well done.
Good job.
This kind of facilitation, giving a hand, encouragement, is the base of teaching.
It seems like it's not just a cognitive capacity that's necessary for teaching. There's this other thing, which is wanting to teach, that seems to be really pervasive in humans and maybe mysteriously missing in apes.
The pieces are now coming together. Apes have culture, a rare achievement in the animal world. They can learn from each other by imitation, but this process is passive, often slow, and can easily backslide.
Probably there's a lot of slippage. There's a lot of loss of cultural innovations between generations when you're talking about a chimpanzee.
If an ape invents something new and important and interesting, maybe some others will learn it, maybe they won't.
Unique among animals, humans have both the passion and mental skill to teach each other. When you're a student rather than a spectator, learning jumps to warp speed. That's because teaching locks in progress.
Human cultural traditions have a cumulative quality, that each generation builds on the things of the previous generation. So if you look at the history of any interesting technology, it started out simple, and the children of that generation learned the simple version, but then some genius made an improvement to it, and everyone follows right away, and we get this ratcheting up in complexity.
An ape may stand on another's shoulders, but only humans can stand on the intellectual shoulders of giants.
It's such a great privilege to be able to work with these animals and try to understand what's going on in their head when they look at you so gingerly and softly. Is it they're thinking, oh, he's such a nice guy, and boy, I wish I knew what was going on in his head? Or is she thinking, gosh, what's that spot? Is it dirt? Could I eat that?
In spite of their limitations, when we look into the eyes of a fellow ape, we don't feel a gap, but a deep connection. We can't dismiss a chimp reaching out for help, or a group of unrelated bonobos rallying to the defense of another, or a mother refusing to let go of her dead baby. But as the most social of apes, we can't help reading thoughts and feelings into the mind behind any familiar face. And perhaps that says more about us than them.
This Nova program is available on DVD at shoppbs.org or call 1-800-PLAY-PBS.